Raise your fists together. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody, somebody. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop bullying. Save the children.
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
And commemorate the life and legacy, the liberating love of that drum major for justice, Martin Luther King Jr., how appropriate it is on this first Saturday of 2024. 2024, which of course is going to be a pivotal year when this nation will choose to take the highway or the low, the way of democracy or the way of neo-fascism. And yet, we set the tone on this first Saturday in the new year, just a few days from Emancipation Day, while at the same time celebrating Haitian Independence Day, to reflect on, to have discussions around the meaning of freedom, the meaning of justice for such a time as this. Listen, it's not lost on me, freedom fighters, justice warriors, that in just a few days we're going to commemorate and celebrate the life and legacy of a prophetic freedom movement that became the Second Reconstruction, and everything that that movement accomplished is now under attack and assault in this nation. And so, freedom fighters, justice warriors, this year, we will move toward the fulfillment of that vision rooted in the foundation that Reverend Jesse Jackson has worked so hard to build. And that is, this will be the year where we renew our fight for economic justice, because we recognize that in so many instances, we find ourselves on the low end of a wickedly widening wealth gap. 2053, we already know that the net wealth of Black people, unless there is a radical economic intervention, will be at zero. We already recognize that there are too many poor people, too many people imprisoned in impoverishment. And so we will fight for economic justice. We will fight for income equality. We will fight for a living wage, procurement opportunities for Black businesses. That is a part of our vision, but also 2024 must be the year that we step up our game when it comes to fighting for environmental justice. In too many instances, we are breathing toxic air that has been created by those who are rich on the other side of town. And so as a consequence, who is it? The great Harvard professor David Williams, who says that in too many instances, we find ourselves with a mortality rate or a life expectancy that is not determined by our genetic code as it should be, but by our zip code because of environmental racism, environmental injustice. We will pick up the fight for environmental justice as we fight against climate change and the forces of greed and environmental exploitation that are determined to make sure that they are enriched at the expense of the air that we breathe. But then, my brothers and sisters, this is the year for us, Push, to also find ourselves pushing for educational equity Yes, educational equity in our schools. We're witnessing the war on truth, the war on education, what the late, great Jacob Carruthers called historicide is going on right now. Bobby Wright said, in essence, historicide sets the stage for menticide. And so we will be fighting. We will be fighting. So our children can go to schools and receive that kind of education that is emancipatory because it's rooted in truth. And so, yes, we will fight for educational equity in terms of how our schools are funded, in terms of after-school programs, but also setting the stage for our churches to have freedom schools so that our buildings, please don't miss this, that are empty too much during the week will be places, safe spaces for us to educate our children. We're not going to wait on Pharaoh to educate our children. No, we must do that ourselves. Finally, it's the year of engagement politically. Engagement politically, after all, this is, and we say it every year, but you know, this year it's even more important because this is the year where we will decide if America will choose the way of freedom or fascism. This is the year. And so we must, as heirs to a legacy of a Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, who fought and as a consequence registered between 7 and 9 million voters. Y'all, this is the 40th anniversary of that amazing speech where he told us to keep hope alive. So we must register voters, but also educate the electorate around the real issues so that AI and the forces of distraction and diversion will not ruin this election. So yes, it's going to be quite a year. So let's get on board. Today, I'm too excited. I can't even hide it. Our Haitian brothers and sisters are here. Shout out to them, but also the legend, the icon himself, Dr. Ron Daniels. We salute you. He is here as we salute and support and celebrate Haitian independence, our freedom forerunners from Haiti who set the stage at the very beginning of the 19th century. They set the stage for freedom. They set the stage for liberation to take place as they threw off the shackles of bondage and overcame overwhelming odds, defeated Napoleon, and as a consequence, freedom was a reality. And so it's not accidental, it's providential, it's poetic, it's prophetic that Haitian independence is right on the heels of Emancipation Day, January the 1st. Why? Because we understand the connecting of the dots when it comes to freedom. Martin King famously said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Let me remix Dr. King and say that any threat to freedom anywhere is a threat to freedom everywhere. Let me remix Dr. King and simply put it like this: if we don't have freedom for all, we don't have freedom at all. And with that being the case, yes, our Haitian brothers and sisters, we're with you, pushing for the Montana Accord. Yes, my sisters and brothers from Haiti, we are with you, not only celebrating your freedom, but we are also determined to do our part to stand with you, lobbying to make sure that this nation's policies toward Haiti are characterized by justice and ensure that our Haitian and brothers and sisters can find themselves empowered and not disempowered because of the policies of this country. We stand with you as our freedom forerunners. We salute you and thank God for the great work that you are doing. So thank you, Dr. Ron Daniels. Thank you to our Haitian brothers and sisters. We love you. We thank God for you. We support you. We stand with you because we recognize that you are the ones who set the stage for freedom in this hemisphere. You are the ones who set the stage for us to fight for true liberation and justice. And so since you did that then, we're going to work with you now to ensure ensure that you always are beneficiaries of policies of justice that promote Haitian independence as well as Haitian empowerment. I'm gonna do that thing one more time. A threat to freedom anywhere is a threat to freedom everywhere. And also, if we ain't got justice for all, we ain't got justice at all. As we move toward the celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. King, let's keep that in mind. God bless you. And let's keep on fighting to bring the dream into reality and ensure that freedom and justice is a reality for all of God's children. Peace.
All right. Let's give it up for Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes. Let's give it up for Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes. What a powerful, powerful oration on this Haitian Independence Day at Rainbow Push. My name is Dr. Ron Daniels. I'm president of the Institute of the Black World 21st Century and founder of the Haiti Support Project. And I am delighted to be here today to help guide us through this incredible program. We are here, as has been outlined, to celebrate one of the greatest achievements in humankind. And that will be spoken to even more directly when we have Congressman Jonathan Jackson later on in the program. But there has never been a revolution like the Haitian Revolution, not even the American Revolution, because the Haitian Revolution was for the liberation of all humankind, including the abolishment of slavery, which did not happen with the American Revolution. So that's why we're here. But we're also here because Haiti is in great pain. Haiti is in great pain. And as Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes said, in the tradition of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, who has fought year after year after year. And let's give a big round of applause as Reverend Jesse Jackson enters the room indeed. Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. And so, in the spirit of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, my leader, my mentor, we're here to connect the dots. And let me just say quickly that when the Haitian Revolution was consummated, it reverberated even before there was Instagram and all of these platforms. It was heard. Denmark Vesey heard it all the way in South Carolina. He was organizing the largest slave revolt ever. And guess where it was going? They were going to Haiti. So that's why we're here. And to get this program started appropriately, I now want to bring to the rostrum Sister Jackie Joseph, who is going to sing the Haitian National Anthem. Would you all rise for the singing of the Haitian National Anthem?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we're gonna sing the Dessalinienne in French and Creole, the first verse. Pour le pays, pour les ancêtres, marchons unis, marchons unis, dans nos rangs, point de traître, du sort soyons seul maître, marchons unis, marchons unis pour le pays, pour les ancêtres, marchons, marchons, marchons unis. Pour le pays, pour les ancêtres, pour Haïti, pays ancêtres, c'est pour marcher, mais non la main, nan mi tan pa fèt pou gen tret, nou fèt pou n'sel met tèt nou an nou marché. Maintenant la main pour Haïti, ka vin pi belle. En nous, mettez ensemble pour Haïti, oh non, toutes ancêtres. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of the Haitian national anthem. Now, moving our program right along, we're now honored to bring for remarks and also for a very special presentation to the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. A person, I guess if a town names a street after you, you must be a legend. So this brother has a street named after him in Evanston, Illinois. That means he's a bad brother, right? I've known him for many, many years, longtime friend. Even though he's a judge, he's a freedom fighter. He's always been that. And that's why there is a street named after him. But we also have reached out to him to, in fact, host us here in Chicago along with the Haitian-American organizations from Chicago. We now welcome to the rostrum, would you please welcome the Honorable Judge Lionel Jean-Baptiste.
Thank you, Reverend Daniels. Now I gotta live up to all that hype, right? First, I want to ask members of the coalition to just, this co-chair, Cindy Montes Newman, and this is a policy coordinator, Ezer Cantav. Reverend, you have stood with us over such a long period of time, engaged in the fight to save Haiti and our fight for justice over and over again. You have stood with us, the coalition, when we went to Federal Plaza and demonstrated against the injustice that was being impacted upon our people when border patrolmen were whipping our people on the borders of Del Rio under the bridge of Texas. And you were with us, you stood up to support the position that we took to call for a Marshall Plan to spend some of our billions of dollars, tax dollars, to help Haiti redevelop. We appreciate your stand historically with us. The other matter, Reverend, you know you have stood by Haiti because you understand that Haiti is not just a nation, it's an ideology. And when the brothers and sisters in Haiti stood up and fought for freedom, you understood that that history is part of our own liberation. And you also understand, Reverend, because you always said to us, share the history, talk about it. Because when Toussaint Louverture stood up and fought back, you understood that he was fighting to regain the African humanity that was in danger by the enslavement of our people. You understood when, after they captured and ambushed him and took him to Fort de Joux in France to die, that when he said, look, you might have taken me away from the struggle, but the reality is the roots, the trunks, the tree of liberty is deep and it will always resprout. And that's how Jean-Jacques Dessalines stood up and took the lead and brought about conclusion to the revolution. You understood that, and you have said to us, keep hope alive by perpetuating the history and sharing it with all our kids for generations and generations. So at this particular point in time, Reverend, we want to present to you a couple gifts. They're kind of heavy, Jonathan. One is a bust of Jean-Baptiste. You've been an icon in the city of Chicago, and we think that you deserve that. It says to Reverend Jesse Jackson, a champion for all Haitians from the Coalition of Haitian-American Organizations in the Chicagoland area. And we have another one for you. This is Meg Malo. Meg Malo is the freedom fighter. The freedom fighter who took to the woods to fight back. So we appreciate you, Reverend. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. And now moving our program right along, we have another presentation. We'd like to now bring to the microphone the chairman of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy, strong leader, strong organization that is dedicated to building authentic democracy and development in Haiti. Would you please welcome Jean-Philippe Austin to the microphone for his remarks and presentation to Reverend Jesse Jackson. Let's give it up for him.
Dr. Daniels, thank you so much. My speech is written. I'm not as cool as Lionel. Brothers and sisters, Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson, I bring you greetings from South Florida. I was hoping to bring warmth and sun, but the weather gods didn't participate. My name is J.P. Austin. I'm a radiation oncologist in South Florida and chair of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy, better known as HAFD. HAFD's mission is to engage the Haitian-American diaspora in promoting policies that foster democracy, human rights, economic development, and inclusion. Haitians haven't had a voice in Washington, D.C. U.S. policy, though, has shaped Haitian lives. So we understand that strengthening Haitian-American political power in this country and strengthening our bonds with our African-American brothers and sisters is critical to addressing Haiti's fundamental challenges. I'm here today honored to celebrate with you Haitian independence, the establishment of the world's first Black republic. My colleagues and I have come to Chicago to also celebrate the rich life and history of one of our greatest civil rights leaders, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. On behalf of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy, I'm honored, sir, to stand in your presence. We're dedicated to co-sponsor the event with Rainbow Push Coalition, the Montana Accord, the Haitian Support Project of the Institute of the Black World, and our friend, Dr. Ron Daniels. But most importantly, we've cooperated with the Coalition of Haitian-American Organizations of the Chicagoland area, specifically Judge Lionel Jean-Baptiste. Reverend Jackson, in the tapestry of our long history of advocacy, you've woven many threads that show your commitment to Haitian immigrants, refugees, and to the heart of Haitian democracy. Your actions are etched in our memories. We remember your fights in the 1980s for justice for Haitian refugees, the so-called boat people, at Chrome Detention Center in Florida. We remember when you joined us in the fight against US policy to support then-dictator Jean-Claude Baby Doc Duvalier. In the 1990s, when Haiti's democratically elected president, Jean-Baptiste Aristide, was deposed in a coup d'etat, you mobilized Americans to join the Haitian effort to return him to the presidency. So we remember. You stood alongside Haitian refugees detained at the US military base at Guantanamo. We remember. For over 40 years, you've called for the world to stand with Haiti and with Haitians. Your legacy, Reverend Jackson, is a living memory in our community. Today, our journey together continues as Haiti faces a transition that is among the most significant in Haiti's history. The daily life of our Haitian brothers and sisters has been a hellscape. Politicians have armed and funded gangs that now control most of the country. Gangs are actually burning people alive, raping women and children. The Haitian government is ineffective at providing even the basic needs for the Haitian people. So the real problem in Haiti is governance. Haiti's leaders have stolen billions of dollars in public funds and dismantled government institutions. They have funded armed gangs and used criminal networks to help them govern. So Haiti's current leaders, headed by this unpopular, failed pseudo-dictator, an acting prime minister, runs the country without a parliament, without checks and balances. There are no elected leaders in the country. So what's the answer from the international community, including the US? Well, let's send some troops down there. Well, the US and UN are backing a police force led by Kenya to go to Haiti. But of course, we who understand the situation know that that's not the answer. This has been tried multiple times in Haiti's history, to Haiti's detriment. But Haitians themselves have a solution. With no legitimate political leadership, civil society leaders in Haiti have been working to restore a functional government. Civil society. They've developed a plan to create a pathway to democracy. They propose establishing an honest, respected, representative transitional government that can hold credible elections that the Haitian people can believe in. Advocates for this are known as the Montana Accord, and you'll hear from them in a few minutes. But of course, the world is not listening. The international community is failing to heed our call to help build and rebuild Haitian democracy. But no other group other than the African-American leadership is capable of moving the needle. So this is an opportunity for us as Haitian Americans or Americans of Haitian descent to work with the African-American leadership to move this process in the right direction. Thank you.
Now we have a special presentation. Let's move that presentation.
This is a presentation from the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy to Reverend Jesse Jackson in appreciation of your lifelong campaign for human rights, equal rights, labor rights, women's rights, and democratic rights in the US, and importantly to us in Haiti. The Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy offers you, Reverend Jesse Jackson, this painting by Lavoy Exil. Born in Haiti, a pivotal artist of importance who brings an enduring legacy testifying to the fusion of art, spirituality, and cultural identity. Reverend Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift. Let's give another round of applause for the chairman of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy. And now let me quickly say that I've been a long-time friend, a long-time part of the family at Rainbow Push, if you will. Rainbow Push is the place that produces presidents. It is the place that produces senators and congresspersons, including Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. was produced right here, right? In this house. This is the house that produces great leaders. And now we have another person who has been produced. And as I said before, he will come and comment, but we are so thankful to him because we had a forum at the Busboys and Poets recently in Washington, D.C. as the Congressional Black Caucus, and he came and he demonstrated his clear understanding not only of Haitian history, but why it is in particular that African Americans should be supporting our Haitian brothers and sisters. Would you please welcome Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Thank you so much. I can't think of someone that could be more honored to stand on the stage with today, a man that's kept Haiti on our consciousness, a man that's traveled this nation and indeed throughout the diaspora, educating, uplifting, and constantly championing the Haitian cause. I thank you and I respect you so much, Brother Ron Daniels. Give him another loving round of applause. And to all of you, the dignitaries, luminaries that have come out to be a part of this Haitian Independence Day, happy 220th Haitian Independence Day. Give yourself. People all over the nation need to understand that the Haitians in Chicago have come out in the cold, in the snow, to celebrate 220 years. That fire cannot be extinguished. After 3 centuries of occupation and colonial rule, there came a group of people of African descendants that took the yoke of slavery, colonialization off of their back. They fought back. They set an example for the rest of the black world that we indeed can be free, and it all started in Haiti. We remember that. And all that has happened to Haiti, we must understand. After those that have been enslaved fought for their freedom, they had to pay reparations to their colonial masters. Come on. After African Americans had been enslaved, they were sold into conscript to fight in the Union Army. Those that enslaved them got compensated. Robert E. Lee, having been a traitor to the government, when the body count started stacking up in Washington, D.C., because the American Civil War had gone on for so long, they became spiteful and started burying the soldiers on his land. Now that land is called Arlington National Cemetery. Robert E. Lee got compensated for his land having fought against the American people. This is a consistent narrative that goes throughout American history. I remember in 2004 with my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, after we left Miami and saw that those that came from Cuba were given asylum, were given work permits, were given freedom, and those that came from Haiti were put in cages and put on Guantanamo and put in isolation. My father and then took us to go to see the Pope, John Paul. And he says, what about the Haitians? They are Catholics. We need you to speak up. Now, the Pope is a big deal. But minister to minister, reverend to reverend, my father challenged him on their theocracy and their belief in God and Christianity to stand up for the Haitians. Just 2 years ago now, I believe it was 3 years ago, my father was honored by France to receive the Legion Award, their highest civilian award. There we met privately afterwards with President Macron. And Macron, this is a private meeting, and the way these meetings oftentimes go, people want something, and what can you do for me? And President Macron was gracious. And he said, Reverend Jackson, what can I do for you? What do you need? And my father said, what about Haiti? I wish I could have recorded it. His face and jaw dropped. And he said under his breath, you really do care about the least of these. Give Reverend Jackson another loving round of applause. So on this 220th anniversary day, you all make my heart happy. Thank you, Judge, for coming out. Thank you for coming out in the cold. Let our children know it all started with our liberation of making people get off of our back and our neck and overturning the degradation of 3 centuries. It started in Haiti. We remember that. We respect that. God bless you. And to all the freedom fighters, from Toussaint L'Ouverture to Dessalines, to Gabriel Prosser, to Denmark Vesey, to all those that have lifted up a blow to fight for freedom, God bless you.
Excel's goal is to inspire students to strive for excellence in education in spite of personal, family, and community challenges that they might experience. How do we do this? By advocating for educational policies that guarantee equal funding for all students without regard to race or economic standing. By engaging parents, students, and teachers in pursuing high-quality education and striving for educational excellence at every level. And by forging partnerships with community-based and public sector stakeholders in education. Now, Push Excel is a national model program with the purpose of connecting principals, parents, popular personalities, and students in a bond and to support students at every level on the educational ladder. Now, we want you to become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and Push Excel. Your annual membership can help us to change policies that impact students, colleges, and universities all around the country. So step up and sign up today. Membership is only $35, and if you're a student or a senior, $15. Just go to our website, rainbowpush.org, and push join to become a member or push donate to support the Push Excel program. You can also text the word Push Excel, that's PUSHEXCEL, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give us any amount that you feel comfortable giving or call us at 773-256-2775. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you. And remember to keep hope alive.
That's right. We want to keep hope alive. Let's say that. Keep hope alive. All right. It's a great day here at Rainbow Push, Haitian Independence Day, connected to Emancipation Day. But it's not just a celebration. We're here for education and to talk about the way forward. That's what happens at Rainbow Push. How are we going to resolve the crisis in Haiti? We're delighted to have 2 speakers who are going to give us just a snippet of what the issues are, because we have another larger forum happening afterwards, and we hope all of you will stay around for that. I'd like to first introduce the first speaker, all the way from Haiti, appointed by President Jean-Bertrand Aristide, the first minister for Haitians living abroad. He's also a dear friend. We've worked on many, many issues together. Would you please welcome the Honorable Leslie Voltaire.
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. I want to thank Dr. Ron Daniels and the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy for inviting me to this important event which honors the Reverend Jesse Jackson. His contribution to the emancipation of African Americans, and his struggles on behalf of Haiti. I remember fondly Reverend Jackson's tireless efforts to reverse the 1991 Haitian Army coup d'etat and restore democratically elected President Jean-Bertrand Aristide to power. The 2010 earthquake disaster, the elections and the imposition of the US government of Martelly and his band of corrupt and incompetent officials have left the state of Haiti, its population, and the country with a legacy of lawlessness, widespread corruption, and economy in distress. Almost 7 years without elections, and the expansion of drug trafficking, money laundering, massive firearms importations, gangs in all the territory, the collapse of the judiciary, the multiplication of armed gangs, and the loss of control of territories by de facto Prime Minister Ariel Henry's government. This January 6th will mark more than 30 months since Mr. Henry has taken over the reins of government. 30 nightmare months, 30 long months for the average Haitian citizen whose opportunities for even a meager income have been reduced to next to nothing. Yet, the international community, led by the US, continues to support Henry as the best leader that Haiti could have at this time. This current approach to the Haitian crisis by the US-led core group basically supports the status quo at the expense of Haiti's well-being. That attitude for the friends of Haiti, quote unquote, denies that country the possibility to eliminate the current predatory state in order to turn things around with the participation of Haitians and African-American diasporas. Negotiations to exit the transition have accelerated somewhat since the Caribbean Economic Community, CARICOM, deployed an eminent persons group composed of 3 former prime ministers to assist the process. 3 rounds of talks from Kingston to Port-au-Prince have met with the stubborn refusal of Prime Minister Henry to relinquish or share power and subject himself to the primacy of a collegial presidency. But now, the imperative in the current crisis, the current situation, is to reconcile the population with the state and its leaders by the adoption of a new type of governance based on the quest for trust, consultation, harmony, sharing of tasks, balance of powers, accountability of authorities, and obligation to achieve result. The proposal put forward by key political parties and civil society organizations like Montana includes the following: a collegial presidency that would include members designated by political parties and civil society, and a prime minister appointed and approved by the collegial presidency that should have a person with integrity, capable of uniting the nation and instill confidence in a fair democratic process. We expect that a new government which inspires trust by fighting the gangs, re-establishing security, and implementing this reformist roadmap can unblock the situation and produce legitimate elected officials to lead us in the 21st century. Brothers and sisters, let's keep hope alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Leslie Voltaire. And again, the point here is that we're not just celebrating. It's important to celebrate, but this is not about sentimentality. Haiti is in serious, serious crisis. I've worked in Haiti since 1995. I've never seen it more serious. And what's important about what we are doing here today is that we, African Americans and Haitian Americans working together, have an opportunity to change it, to have an impact on U.S. policy so that Haiti can, in fact, finish the unfinished Haitian Revolution. We'd now like to bring to the microphone Monique Kleska. She is deeply involved, and by the way, let me just re-emphasize that Minister Leslie Voltaire is involved in the negotiations that are critically unfolding. Now I'd like to bring Monique Kleska, who is a part of the Monitoring Bureau for the Montana Accord movement, dynamic, visionary sister, and courageous to stand in this moment for a new birth in Haiti. Monique Kleska, welcome her, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ron Daniels and the Institute of Black World for the invitation, the Haitian-American Foundation. But I also want to say something very special about being here in the presence of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. As a student who attended Howard University, thank you to you too. Reverend Jesse Jackson was, along with a lot of the other leaders, African-American leaders, a hero to me. And to be here in the presence of one of my heroes gives me a special joy. And saying the brothers and sisters really has a deep meaning for me. So I wanted to say thank you. And even if today I am not the young Howard University student, because I have the white hair to prove that, but I am still in awe of being in the same room as the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Thank you very much. So I wanted to put that up front. Now, having said this, what the Reverend Haynes has said, I kind of felt he was speaking to me particularly. And what he said echoed a lot of what I will say, even perhaps if I don't have the verve of the Reverend, as well as what Jonathan Jackson has said, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. And I was really moved by some of this. So having said this, I echo what Ron Daniels and Leslie have said, and as well as JP. It's that Haiti today is in extreme distress. Profound suffering is going on with girls and women being raped, people being killed, kidnapping, disempowered, and a lot of impoverishment. And it behooves us to find a solution. And at the level of the problem, we really had to come up with a solution that addressed a lot of the issues, a lot of the governance problems. Because as Reverend Haynes said, it's not only a governance issue, and this is what I was saying, I echo that. It is also a social justice issue. And it was important that we address some of that. So the process we came through was an inclusive process to kind of re-engineer democracy. And I will tell you a little bit about that process that brought us to the consensual agreement, which is called the Montana Accord. One of the things that we did in terms of that process was reach out to different sectors, the peasant organizations, the cultural organizations, the Federation of Churches, of Protestant churches, different groups, the voodoo sector, all the different sectors that constitute the life of Haiti, the social, civil society sectors. So we grouped them together in a commission. And what we did as members of the commission was to go really on what we call the listening tour for about 4 months, where we sat and listened to political parties and members of the different sectors to see what they saw as the crisis. Because at the time, Haiti is 220 years old, but we have issues. And one of the things that I always say is we dealt with the liberty part, but we didn't deal with the equality part. And we didn't deal with the fraternity, which is the social justice part as well. And so we needed to hear different people to see what it is that we need to do to resolve the problem, so that it is not somebody sitting up there in the presidential chair or the prime minister chair illegitimately who is telling us what it is that we should do. So we went on that listening tour, and we heard what people said. And one of the big issues was participation. And so we dealt with that in terms of opening it up and listening to people so we could have consensus. We also heard distrust. So by hearing them, it was important. It was an important process to build that trust, to instill in people that hope could be kept alive, and we could hear what it is that they were to say, and we could come up with solutions. So that was also an important part of re-engineering democracy. And sovereignty was also a part. We may be 220 years old, but we have to face the reality that it really is the US government that pulls the strings in Haiti. They put a tweet out, and then there was a prime minister. And so we decided that it had to be a Haitian solution, and it had to come from us. So this re-engineering of democracy really meant that you hear people, you get the consensus of what people are saying, the way that we wanted problems to be resolved, and that we could move the needle forward with the keeping hope alive. So that was an important aspect. And since I have 30 seconds, I will ask you for the solidarity, because we will have a little forum afterwards. Solidarity of African Americans and the Haitians who are in the diaspora here also, so that we can, with the Montana Accord that was signed out of the process that I talked about, that we could move things forward. It is pretty straightforward in terms of 2-year transition, in terms of having a national conference, in terms of having free elections that are not dictated, the results are not dictated by the US State Department. So we need your solidarity, we need your understanding, and to us, this is what the brotherhood and the sisterhood is all about. So really, thank you very much. We count on that. We really count on that. And thank you again, Reverend Jesse Jackson, for your leadership and your vision. Thank you. Thank you.
Join Rainbow Push for a transformative event that echoes the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The Martin Luther King Scholarship Breakfast, Monday, January 15th from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m.
This breakfast is not just a meal. It's a beacon of hope for African American youth. By purchasing a ticket or sponsoring a table, not only will worthy students receive scholarships,
but Rainbow Push will continue to break barriers and open doors by sponsoring HBCU college tours, funding STEM, oratorical, and financial literacy programs.
The Scholarship Breakfast is not merely about financial aid. It's about unlocking a future of endless possibilities.
An event that resonates with the spirit of Dr. King's dream.
Join us Monday, January 15th from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Apostolic Church of God at 6320 South Dorchester Avenue in Chicago.
Purchase the ticket today. Your support fuels dreams and breaks barriers.
All right, have y'all having a good time today so far? All right, keep hope alive, keep hope alive. Well, let me quickly say that we hope that people will be here for the long haul, which is really a short haul, because we're going to have a substantive discussion, a more in-depth discussion, and we want you all to stay for it so that we can, in fact, engage and hear more, hear your recommendations and your thoughts about what you've heard, and you'll hear more about the severe crisis in Haiti. Let me say this. I got involved in this as an African American because we all owe a debt to Haiti. Let me say that again. We all owe a debt to Haiti. Not only African people and African Americans, but all of humankind. Because at the height of the propagation of the myth of white superiority, you hear me? The notion that, you know, if you're white, you're all right, yellow, mellow, black, get back. At the height of that myth, the Haitian Pan-African revolutionaries stood up and shattered that myth, destroyed it, and created the first black republic in this hemisphere. Y'all can clap on that, right? What did that mean? I mean, let's go back. What does that mean? At the height of this notion that Negroes can't do nothing but be slaves and, you know, hew water and crawl and all this madness, we shattered a myth. So what did they have to do? They had to punish Haiti. And Haiti has been punished ever since. It's never had an opportunity to fulfill its destiny. Even though properly understood, and Reverend Jackson has said this over and over again, because the Haitians defeated Napoleon, you have in this country the Louisiana Purchase that doubled the size of this country. America owes Haiti. Haitian troops fought in the Battle of Savannah to help defeat the British in terms of the revolution. America should always be contributing to Haiti. And I unite with the idea that the judge has put forth, and Reverend Jackson has embraced. I embrace the same idea. There should be a Marshall Plan in order to provide massive assistance in order to move Haiti forward. So we've got to help finish the unfinished Haitian revolution, and we're going to do that. That's what this is about. I'm so happy about it. This is only the beginning, if you will. So now, before we proceed, we're going to have a forum afterwards, so just after we finish, just hold on, because we're going to continue. I want to thank Reverend Dr. Jeanette Wilson. Give her a big round of applause for doing all she did to help make this day possible. Would you please come to the stage? Because she has a special appeal, Reverend Jeanette Wilson, Reverend Dr. Jeanette Wilson. Give her a big round of applause.
Morning.
She got even more gray hair and a gray dress and a gray everything, but she's a bad sister, Reverend Jeanette Wilson.
I want to especially thank on behalf of Reverend Jackson and the board and members of PUSH, Dr. Ron Daniels. He worked very tirelessly and diligently to make this forum open up the year for us. And so give him a round of applause. I know that you came out in the snow, so I know that you are committed to the struggle for justice. And I know that you recognize that every struggle has to have fuel. Y'all can say amen. Amen. Every struggle requires fuel, and in this case, fuel is resources, people resources, financial resources. We need you to help us help you. We want to really launch a major initiative as we push for the Montana Accord. We need your financial support. Some of you can write a check right now like Judge Lionel Baptiste. I can see the money bulging from each pocket. and then he brought the real financial person with him. So I know that each one of you can give. Some of you can give $1,000. Hold on, I need y'all to focus. Whenever there's, I learned from my Baptist leanings, Reverend Clay Evans, y'all need to be real quiet. So I'm going to pray for you as we prepare to take this offering. Some of you can give $1,000 and not even blink to help fuel the movement as we start this new year. You heard our president, Dr. Freddie Haynes, said we're going to be fighting. We have to fight for everything we get. Reverend Jackson said we've never lost a battle that we fought. And we must fight again. So I need some of you to raise your hand if you're going to give $500. Raise your hand if you have $100. Right now, money. Got 100. Follow Judge Baptiste. We got 100. Stand up. If you have 100, they will come and collect it. You don't even have to walk. We need at least 10 people to give me $100 right now. That way we can get back on the program. We need more information, more inspiration, but I need you to give right now. I need 10 people to give me $100. 100 here. Y'all got to walk real fast. I got 100 here, 100 here. I need 5 more people. I'm counting. Count with me. 5 more to give $100. I need 20 people to give me $50. I know some of you, you've had Christmas, you've had New Year's, you've eaten, you're full. I need 20 people to give $50 right now. Got one right here? He gave us his last 50. Okay, I need 19 more people to give $50. Could y'all come and collect this? Some of you say, I don't have 100, I don't have 1,000, I don't have 50, but I have 25. I need you to raise your hand and stand if you could give $25. We only have 2 ushers, so if you stand, it'll help them. Y'all need to collect this money. I don't want to hold it. $25. It's $25 over there. Ellen, this is from Dr. Daniels. How many more will give $25? The faster you give, the faster I can stop talking. I know you don't want me to keep going. Now, some of you, you didn't give 50, you didn't give 25. I'm going to reach your street, I promise you. This 25? 100. Look at here. Thank you so much. I can move and talk. Thank you. Kristen, how many of you will give $10? Give me 20. I'm sorry, 20. How many will give 15? Right there. I didn't see that. I'm okay. Okay, so now y'all need to give them. I didn't want to fall. How many of you will give something? Raise your hand so that they can collect it. The reason I was asking some of you to stand, they can't, they got credit cards. How many of you want to give, text to give? Text the word. Take out your cell phones. Y'all got cell phones? All right, text 41444. Text 41444 to push. Now, text push to 41444. Text the word push to 41444. Y'all got it? How many of you are texting? Hold your phones up. Okay. Who else wants to give something and nobody collected your money? I'm coming and collecting. Who else wants to give? Did we get everybody back here? Thank you so much for your gifts. And let me say this. Would y'all take this money out of my hand? Watch that. You ready? Okay. Could I have all of the members of the Haitian delegation leaders here? Come right here, please. Everybody that Lionel called, Jean-Baptiste called. Now they're going to do a photo op, and we'll bring Reverend Jackson over shortly. One of the things, hold on, we're not dismissed yet.
Go ahead.
Okay. One of the things that we will make sure that everyone who is here that fills out a membership application will get a membership today. Give yourselves a hand. Dr. Daniels, you have to come down and stand in this picture. You have to bring Reverend over here for this picture. Don't take it yet. Okay, let us pray. Here's what you do. 2 rows, short people right here. Mr. Voltaire, join me. The shortest, if you're his height, come here and stand by Reverend.
Elsie Hernandez.
Stand back here, right here. We're having 2 lines. That we don't have a wide angle lens, so tighten up. You short. Come right here, please. Yes. Those of you who are below 5 feet, stand up here. You're below. Come on, right here. Are y'all trying to be deltas?
Elsie Hernandez.
Okay, this is the one photo op. You're going to have to turn in. Those of you on this side, turn this way. Turn this way. Turn towards Reverend. You step up so he can stand behind you. Sir, here. I'm not a photographer. Would y'all get closer? If you're shorter than the person in front of you, stand in that front of that person.
Education Fund. If you're interested in impacting public policies, if you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, you can become a policymaker by becoming a member of Rainbow Push right now. For an annual membership of $35, or if you're a student or senior, $15, you can help us make a difference in the lives of millions. How do you become a member? Visit our website at rainbowpush.org and press join. Or maybe you'd like to support us. You can text the word PUSH, that's P-U-S-H, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give any amount you feel comfortable giving. You can also call us at 773-256-2775. Or go to rainbowpush.org and push donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
We are sanctuary. We are a sanctuary.
When I think of Rainbow Push, I think of two words: social justice.
Education advocacy.
Political empowerment.
Freedom and equality.
Corporate partnership.
Stop the violence. Save the children. Don't get in. Shut it down. If we don't get in, shut it down.
Political change.
Inclusion, evolution. Progress, justice.
Jesse Jackson.
Keep hope. Keep hope alive. Alive. Keep hope. Keep hope alive. Alive.
We want to be bridges.
All I want to say is, my friends, America fought the American Revolution. Haitians came for more than 1,000 troops, and it's recognized in Savannah, Georgia. Big plaque in the middle of the street. Thinking Haitians were coming. That battle helped free American Louisiana Purchase. We really, Haitian is the creditor, we're the debtor. So Haiti is the creditor, America's the debtor. You look at Israel and Ukraine, they owe America something. America owes Haiti something.
That's right.
We must determine that.
The Marshall Plan.
We must determine that, right? We must determine that in big numbers. It's not just be a day of celebration. This must be a season of struggle, right? 58 blacks in the U.S. Congress now. Many of them are Haitian. The senators do not know it. The fact of the matter is, there should never be a foreign policy budget that have Haiti in the budget.
That's right.
Talk to me, somebody.
All right. That's right. That's right.
Haiti must be in the budget.
Haiti must be in the budget.
Haiti must be in the budget. It must be in the budget. It must be in the budget. Also, to me, that for us, January the 1st, not just a hangover from Christmas. In 1862, Lincoln said that if you don't, South don't join the Union, we may even free them. Remember us, 100 days. South Carolina's response to that was, "Full stop the shot." Y'all with me so far? Now, when we got free in 1863, Haiti did, for the first time, a black American soil as a free person, January 1st, 1863. So it's not just a kind of day for us, eat ham hocks and beans, all that shit. We got the big deal, right?
Right.
Talk to me, somebody. We must celebrate Haiti every year.
Every year.
Every year.
Every year.
Every day in the year.
Every year, Haiti year.
Every year in the day. Now, a step further. Louverture went back to Haiti. Something amazing. The favorite son of the French Revolution was Napoleon. Beat Napoleon militarily in Haiti. Sent him home packing. You would think that those who helped us voluntarily in the American Revolution would get honored, but the South was against the whole battle.
as we begin our program for this afternoon. And let me just indicate how we want to proceed. Give yourself a big round of applause. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being here. But again, we want our panelists to come because we really, really want to hear from you. The most important part of the afternoon, there's going to be a microphone out there for you to come and exchange ideas and to offer your perspectives and so forth. I do want to give a shout out. I don't remember his name. He came and accosted me and so forth, but he's the former Consul General from New York. That's right, you right there. Former Consul General from New York. I remember you. You're a bad brother. We did some really good work together. I'm old now. I don't remember all your name, but I know who you is, right? You did some really great work together. So the way we're going to proceed, this mic is, this one. We're going to have to keep you on this mic. I need this one for out there. The way we're going to proceed is we're going to have some presentations, and then we're going to have a question and answer and comment period. So you don't necessarily have to answer a question. You can comment, you can offer a perspective, and whatnot as we move forward. To begin the process, yes. I'm going to let you introduce them. African Union Representative Oliver Kaminsky. Where you at? Where are you? Our African Union representative. Great to see you. Give him a round of applause. In fact, Haiti should be a part of the African Union, right? We're working on that, right? We're working on that proposition. So, Judge, we want to begin this afternoon. We want to begin this afternoon's proceedings. Judge, we wanted to offer you an opportunity again as our local host on behalf of the Chicago Coalition, Chicagoland Coalition of Haitian Americans and beyond, given who you are and your history, to offer to open this part up with whatever remarks that you would like to offer before we get into our discussion with our panel. And JP, you are welcome to do likewise after Lionel, if you so choose.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ron Daniels, freedom fighter who's been at it all his life and is going to die on the battlefield. Give him a round of applause, please. First of all, we welcome our brothers and sisters who have been in the fight for better Haiti. We once again thank Reverend Jesse Jackson. We all want to continue to emulate his work. We have a number of folks from the coalition who are here. Could you just stand up, those of you who are from the coalition, just stand up and let people know that you're here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a group of folks who have been working together over a period of time, have stood up and fought back against the injustices that have been imposed on our people who were trying to find a way to seek a better life. Ukrainians get open doors, and a number of other nations, Haitians, have always been targeted to be excluded and suppressed. So we say we have to fight back and try to make sure that our brothers and sisters get equity and equality in this country. The other thing that we want to say to you is that beyond giving us some access to this country is that we want to rebuild Haiti. We want to make sure that our people have a chance to go back, and we want to make sure that those of us, the African Americans and Africans throughout the world who understand the value of Haiti, get a chance to go back there. It is part of the healing process and the resurrection of the African humanity. We know that, and so we understand that we fight for rights in this country, but we also have to fight to use our voting power in this country to demand an appropriation of some large amount of dollars. That's why the coalition of Haitian-American organizations, through its Policy and Advocacy Committee, has put forth a bill before Congresswoman Chakowski. We're getting ready to give it to Jonathan Jackson. We sent it to Congresswoman Sheffield McCormick to demand the allocation of $50 billion, Reverend. $50 billion, because they're talking billions now and they're sending money away. So we want to make sure that our country get this kind of allocation to make sure that we can rebuild the country. That's not the only strategy, but we are demanding, and we want to leverage the 8 to 10 million Haitians that we have in the United States. Look, we're 4 generations deep here. So we've got peoples. Plus we have our comrades, our allies in the African-American community who ask us all the time, what should we do? We have this bill, we want to advance, we want to put pressure, and we want to leverage our voting power, because we know that in 2008 and 2012, Reverend, we were the X factor in Florida to elect Barack Obama. Haitians were the X factors, and we can continue to do that to make sure that we fight in Congress to let them know that we count. So as our brothers and sisters are getting ready to give us a roadmap to move forward, we know that there are multiple approaches, and we know that we need to continue to collaborate to make things happen. So we welcome you, and we say we're part of that struggle. So forward ever, backwards never. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'd like to welcome the chairman of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy. I also want to recognize a young man in the audience that I met in Haiti many years ago. He was just a youngster then. His sister, Peggy Regis, was the person who was our interpreter and one of our key facilitators. He's now in the Chicago area, and I hope he's hooked up with Judge Jean-Baptiste. We were supposed to do that some time ago, but I think that Adele Regis is in the audience. Adele, stand up and be recognized. Just bright, brilliant young man. I helped see him grow and develop, so we hope you're going to be a part and help out with the struggle. Now we'd like to hear from our chairman of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels. I just want to add very quickly that no other group other than the African-American leadership and the African-American community writ large is more capable of supporting this black nation of Haiti, who led the first slave rebellion. So we need your support to influence American policy towards Haiti, to flip American policy to not just for what's good. U.S. policy is so responsible for what's happening in that country. And we need to change U.S. policy and bring good governance to the people of Haiti. So thank you so much.
Okay, so the way we're going to proceed, and again, we're going to open the floor for suggestions and comments and discussion, and we hope people will take it seriously, and I think you will, is we're going to hear from Jocelyn McCalla. He is an expert on Haiti policy. He's been a veteran. He was talking about those eras of immigration policy. His work was incredible all across the country and the world doing that work. He has his own firm now and whatever, but he's a dear friend, and we've been collaborating together on this. We have a formation in the Institute of the Black World 21st Century called the Pan-African Unity Dialogue. And we have been monitoring this crisis. And Johnny has been our voice on that, and Monique Kleska and others have entered into the conversation, which then propelled us as a Haiti Support Project to become involved. And this is one of the outcomes of that as we move forward. So we want to ask Johnny McConnell to come and to give an overview of the crisis in Haiti. He will be followed by Monique Kleska, who will come and give more details in terms of the Montana Accord movement, because we want people to clearly understand what is unfolding. And I reinforce that because, again, I've heard a lot, seen a lot, but this to me is the most promising that I have seen. And so if we want people to critique, discuss, kick the tires, as they say, add to it, be a part of the collaboration so we can be united, have a united front, as the judge was talking about, moving forward in this process. And then we'll bring back for final remarks the Honorable Leslie Voltaire, and then we're going to spend time, as much time as is necessary, and to sort of have questions and answers and comments and observations. It's not just to ask questions, you can also ask comments, but we want this to be a learning, sharing experience. So Johnny, you have the mic.
Thank you, Ron. Brothers and sisters, thank you for coming and thank you for staying. I hope that we're going to spend, about an hour and a half together, and hopefully at the end of that time that we will have all become a little bit more informed about Haiti, about the challenges, about the situation and what is being done by Haitians, for Haitians, and being able, to say, this is what I can commit to in the next year, month, and so forth. So part of what we're going to be doing here is, in essence, go deeper into the situation. Take a deep dive into the situation in Haiti and become a little bit more cognizant of the challenges. My job, as Ron has said to you, is to really sort of give you an overview of the crisis and how it has evolved. But I want to start by noting that part of the reason why we're here is because we are celebrating 220 years of independence from neo-colonialism, from colonialism and enslavement. So we should all take a moment, to say, hey, this is a moment that we need to privilege, that we need to be associated with, that every time January 1st, 1804 shows up on the calendar, that we take a moment to honor the work, the struggles of our ancestors. And every time that we also remember the Emancipation Proclamation was issued in 1863, about 59 years later. So let me begin with my presentation. 220 years ago, men and women of African descent emancipated themselves from slavery and vowed to build a new nation in the Americas. Henceforth, they would be known as Haitians. They invited all who wished to join them to become Haitian too, albeit despite all of the risks and perils that a new nation surrounded by white supremacist imperial powers would face. Establishing the nation of Haiti was the most significant, groundbreaking political act at the dawn of the 19th century. It was a beacon of hope for the oppressed and the enslaved, from South to North America and the Caribbean. Despite the constant hostility and the meager resources at its disposal, Haiti extended a hand to others who sought to free themselves from oppression and imperial control. Haiti extended itself to others who wanted to free themselves from oppression and imperial control. Unfortunately, while Haiti became politically independent, its sovereignty has been breached often throughout the last 220 years. Haiti became a neo-colony ruled by new masters who emulated the old masters, hogged wealth, plundered the country, and cast most Haitians to inferior housing, healthcare, and education. Some of today's headlines could read as follows. The chief executive appoints and fires at will mayors and heads of local administrations. The government imposes a tax on money transfers and international phone calls but remains unaccountable. No one is certain whether elections promised but not held last year in 2023 will be carried out in 2024 or even in 2025. Non-citizenship rights are the norm rather than the exception. A stable government and the rule of law remain but a dream deferred. Haiti is living off international assistance. Its people remain mostly functionally illiterate. Their salvation is found abroad. And as a result, unfortunately, they are deemed to have committed high treason in spirit. Though the extreme need for hard cash transfers keeps the rhetoric of brotherhood across borders alive and well. The harsh reality, my friends, is that since the catastrophic 2010 earthquake, which the 12th anniversary, is that the 12th? The 14th anniversary of that earthquake, will be up on us on January 12th. Since that earthquake, individuals ushered into leadership position through quick fix, in-name only elections. These individuals being Michel Martelly and Jovenel Moïse have driven the country into the ground. Billions of dollars in reconstruction aid have vanished into the pockets of corrupt government officials from both administrations, along with members of parliament allied with drug and contraband traffickers. Funds, such as the Petro-Caribe funds intended for rebuilding the nation's infrastructure, have been misappropriated. The Martelly and Moïse government, through deceptive projects like soccer fields and stadiums and non-competitive contracts, concealed the widespread fraud. Despite calls from civil society for accountability of the massive fraud, Haitian governments and their international allies turned a blind eye. They responded to popular protests with heavy police repression. Paramilitary allies were deployed to supplement the police crackdown on democratic demands. Those paramilitary allies are commonly known today as criminal gangs, which, as Monique and Leslie have told you earlier, have used slash and burn tactics to terrorize the poor, leading to hundreds of deaths and massive internal displacement. These gangs have proliferated and become powerful enough to extend control over larger parts of the country, repelling meager efforts by the poorly led and ill-equipped national police while exploiting citizens through arbitrary tolls, taxes, user fees, and kidnappings. Haiti took a turn for the worse with a bloody coup d'etat, and that was what it was, a bloody coup d'etat against President Jovenel Moïse in July 2021. Dr. Ariel Henry, backed by the United Nations and the United States, assumed the position of Prime Minister. Since then, he has ruled by fiat, paying lip service to democracy, the Haitian Constitution, and repeated efforts to negotiate a viable transition to a democratic government strong enough to reassert control over the state, establish peace, security, and promote economic and democratic progress. Under UN political cover, Kenya is set to lead a multinational support mission with financial and political support from the United States and Canada, both of which, I should note, have declined to subject their own troops to potential harm from criminal gangs. The United States wields significant influence over Haiti, yet it has thus far neglected the calls from Haitian civil society for a government that is accountable, manages resources well, possesses integrity, is transparent, and is led by informed and competent leadership. There aren't enough voices stateside, my friend, urging the White House, as well as key members of the House and the Senate, to genuinely embrace a democratic process that Haitians can be proud of, compelling them to stay and build a bright future for their nation. So what is to be done? You will next hear from my two colleagues to my left who have been intimately involved in some of the high-level negotiations that were held last year to resolve the crisis. After listening to them, if you agree that indeed, giving up is not an option, let's join hands to grow a truly independent Haiti, free from the most basic wants, free of neocolonial ties, confident in its own capacity to change the course of history, once again, under wise guidance and progressive and purposeful leadership. Let's join hands to build a Haiti where every Haitian can say very proudly, I am somebody.
Reverend Jesse Jackson, here you got some converts up in here. You know, we got I am somebody up in here. All right. Next, we'd like to hear from Monique Kleska, and understand what we're doing, Reverend Jackson. We're having a forum in which we're trying to provide more education. And we got to give a special shout out to James Gomez, who is the Director of International Affairs for the Rainbow Push Coalition. Let's give him a big round of applause. He has been he's been working very closely with us, connecting us not only with Congressman Meeks, but also Congressman Jonathan Jackson and so forth. Just want to give him a shout out. So we're in good hands, Reverend Jackson, in terms of the work that's being done. But this is a process, so we want to make sure we get every speaker in and expeditiously so we can also beat the snow, some of us, back to the East Coast. So now, Monique Kleska for an encore.
Thank you very much. I think based on what we have heard certainly from Justin Makala just now, let's be very clear. Haiti is ruled today by a transnational criminal organization with the support of the Biden administration. We can say it. We can say it. We must say it to understand what is going on. We are being killed. It is a slow genocide. We are being killed, men, women, children, girls, and women's bodies are being killed. There is a brain drain. 3,000 policemen have left through the Biden program, 3,000 policemen, but we're going to pay so that Kenya can send policemen to help us. So we are being killed in every possible way. And when I say Haiti is ruled by a transnational criminal organization, there is the economic sector, there is the political sector, there is also the thieves, the rapists, the murdering gangs. They're all together. Last year, I wrote an article for Foreign Affairs where I started by naming the number of prime ministers, ministers, etc., who had been sanctioned. It is a long list. So it is a criminal governance system. So, having said this, and that's why I said it's important to be clear on that as a premise, Haiti is ruled today by a transnational criminal organization with the support of the Biden administration. It's been for 11 or 12 years. Having said this, I talked a little bit about the process for the Montana Accord, where it was important that we have massive participation of different sectors, to be inclusive. It was important to listen to various sectors so that we could build trust also in the process, because in listening to political parties and various sectors, there were 2 points that came out by everyone. One was the general mistrust that Haitians have towards each other, as well as Haitians have towards their leaders, in quotation mark, or the politicians. So it was important. That is one of the bedrock of what we need to do to re-engineer the democracy. Because we don't want a cheap democracy, like, okay, let's hurry up and have an election, and then we move forward. No. We want real election, like it happens everywhere in the world. We want clean elections. We want secure elections. So it was important also that aspect of building trust. Another aspect that is very important that I keep on bringing up, usually you don't have to say we are a sovereign country. Sovereignty doesn't have to be declared. Sovereignty is something you act on. But in the case of Haiti, we have realized that, yes, we gained our independence 220 years ago, but we do have doubts about that level of sovereignty because it is the Americans right now, the Biden administration, that holds sway. They give a tweet, and it's published, and then there is a prime minister. So I think it is something that is important. Another thing that I want to say also is that at the time when President Aristide was voted in, we had close to 80 to 90% of the electorate voting. No matter what you can say that the majority of the electorate voted. But a few years ago, 2016, I believe, when Jovenel Moïse was elected, you had 18% of the electorate. What's happened? Haitians stopped believing that their vote counted. It didn't matter because it wasn't them who were influencing, who were deciding the vote. It was being done in the White House. And I think it is something that is extremely important. So if we want elections, we want good elections. We don't want a democracy that is, okay, this is Haitian democracy. No, we want the real democracy. One man, one woman, one vote. And I think that is part of the building trust, and it is an important lesson learned from the 1980s, from the 1990s, from the 2000 period. We want that when Haitians go to the polls, that this is what is happening, and it is them who are deciding who will be our leaders. So I think that is something that is extremely important. Now, moving on, the consensus agreement. After making sure you're inclusive, making sure there is participation, etc., we decided to call it a Haitian solution. It was very clear in terms of the blueprint. It was, here is how Haiti should be ruled in the immediate short term, maybe 2 years. It wasn't a vision document. The Montana Accord is not a vision document in the sense of 15, 20, 30 years. It is a vision document in terms of having an honest, transparent, democratic governance system. In that way, it is a vision government, but not defining the way it should be going. It was a vision document in terms of social justice must be in the agenda because you cannot have a government that is not providing services. What is the use of government if you're not having a health system that functions? Normally, well, when I say normally, before 2018 crisis, you had about 50% of Haitians who had access to health care. 50% of Haitians had access to health care before 2018. Today, it's probably 20, 25%. How can you have a government that is not providing access to health care? The education system has serious quality issues. Haitians want education for their children. And if you see here, when Haitians arrive to the United States, they become judges, doctors, lawyers, nurses, social workers, etc. So we want quality education for our children. So the social justice agenda is important. The sovereignty agenda is important. The transparency, ethical agenda is important. So the Montana Accord has that in its definition. Now, there was limited focus on a provisional government, 2 years, because we thought that 2 years could move things forward, clean up the criminal elements, so we could move forward to free and fair elections. There was a roadmap then to elections, how that should be done within 2 years also. There was the idea of a national conference so Haitians could come together throughout the country to define what was important for them moving forward. And that, the result of that could be the long-term kind of visioning document, including the diaspora. And it's important because Haitians in the diaspora practically support Haiti in terms of money that they send home, in terms of advice, in terms of everything. So they should also be participating and be able to vote. And I think that is something that is extremely important. But we need to define that together. We need to define that together. So that we need to have the voice of Haitians to be able to do this. So constitutional reform, that would have to be defined then by the National Conference. So building trust, legitimacy, ethical concerns in terms of that. So we don't have figureheads. So we have real leaders who know what it is that can be done in the short term, 2 months, and move the needle forward so that real elections, when I say real elections for real democracy, can be held, and we can have leaders who have visions. And I think that I wanted to say something important. You know, very often we are discouraged when we see criminals being followed and being applauded. Somebody comes out of jail for drug, for murder, for whatever, and they're applauded, etc. And I think there was something that Reverend Haynes talked about, educating the electorate. And I think that is something, you know, I wrote that down, and that is something that is important, educating the electorate. So we know that leadership is not about, you know, the criminal, it's not about money. It is about being ethical, respectful of the population, providing services, having a vision. And I think these are the things that are extremely important. So the Montana Accord is a kind of blueprint for a 2-year transition that can change from a criminal system to a system where it is driven by ethics, it is driven by social justice, it is also driven by hope that we can do this, because I sincerely believe we can do this. And perhaps I should use an expression that Reverend Haynes talked about, freedom fighters. And sometimes I tell people that who I mentor, don't be humble about your resume. But I will not be humble here, and I will say that in a way we are freedom fighters. I don't have a problem affirming that I am a freedom fighter, because I believe that we Haitians, in the distress that we are in, we need that. We need freedom. Thank you. We need this to decide to move our country forward. It's, you know, it is sad and it is shameful that sometimes what comes out of Haiti, we are better than this and we can do better. And I know that hope that you keep on talking about and that we talk about and that we believe in is real. And we need the solidarity of the diaspora. We need the solidarity of the African American community, the Caribbean community. We need solidarity. And Reverend Haynes, as well as Congressman Jackson, talked about, yeah, Haiti led the way. But we led the way, and then somehow we kind of, made too many bad turns. And we need now to come back and be leading the way in terms of social justice, in terms of freedom, in terms of services for our population, so that we can shine brightly again. And this is what I believe in, and I urge you really to put your hands together so that we can do this together. We can't do it alone. Thank you.
Let's give it up for that freedom fighter. Freedom fighter. And then I'm taking notes. I like this idea of re-engineering democracy. I took that down. Re-engineering democracy, which is a good idea. That we have the capacity. And the other thing that's very important is very often we do not believe in the capacity of ordinary people. But I'm here to tell you, I was having this conversation with Reverend Bobby yesterday. We were talking about Haiti. I said, when you go to Haiti, one of the things that you find out, there may be elites up here and all that kind of stuff, but among the Haitian masses, there is belief. There's a sense of repository of history, of resistance and resiliency. And the other thing I just wanted to just quickly sort of drop on people so you understand the context. Judge talked about forward ever, backward never. That's Maurice Bishop who made that famous. He was a global icon from an island of 100,000 people. Haiti is a nation of 8 to 10 million people. Do you understand the impact that it will have when we all join hands in order to help Haiti finish the unfinished revolution? It will become a global power in the positive sense, not in a negative sense, but for all filling all those values that were talked about. And yes, we have our fits and turns. That's a part of the whole process. So that's good. To acknowledge that is good. But we're going to work on this together. So let's now have Minister Voltaire come and make his final remarks, and then we're going to open up to the floor for, again, questions, comments, and recommendations, suggestions. We hope people are learning and have thoughts that they want to contribute. So Minister Voltaire, would you please come for your final thoughts?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I don't know what to say after Monique and John. I will repeat myself, thanking Ron Daniel, the Institute of the Black World, the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy, to have organized that important event and to honor the Reverend Jesse Jackson. His contribution to the emancipation of all the blacks around the world, his knowledge on Haiti and his struggle on behalf of Haiti to restore democratically elect President Jean-Baptiste to power. In 2011, the US has imposed a criminal organization to govern Haiti. And now Haiti has almost equal casualty as in the wars between Russia and Ukraine, or between the war between Israel and Palestine. And it increases every day. Civil society and the political parties has offered to Prime Minister de facto Ariel Henry to collaborate to fight the gangs. But he preferred to go to the United Nations and ask for Kenya to come and fight. As Monique said, we had already 3,000 policemen participating in the parole program of President Joe Biden. And Kenya is talking about sending 1,000 According to the Constitution, Prime Minister de facto Henry acts as a Prime Minister and a President. And he should have been no longer than 3 months. By October of 2021, Haiti should have held election for a new president. Unfortunately, with the blessing of the international community led by the US, he has extended his one-man rule far beyond what is constitutionally acceptable. With their help, he has conjured so-called agreements with political groups that he co-opted. His most recent known of December 21st agreement, signed in December 2022, had set a deadline for a transition to elected office no later than next month, 7th of February 24. So his agreement says he has to leave and let the government organize with elected officials. That didn't happen. And Judge, he cannot benefit from his mistake. So he has to leave. Or the international community will tweet again. So that date certain for a new government was published in the official government gazette. This January 6th will mark more than 30 months since Mr. Henry has taken over the reins of government. 30 long months for the average Haitian citizen whose opportunities for even a meager income has been reduced next to nothing. The economy is in shambles. There is no investment. The government controls 10% of the territory. 10%. The gangs control 90% of the territory. Yet the international community continues to support Henry. And this current approach to the Haitian crisis basically supports the status quo. No investment. The US has nothing to do. Even the US embassy is empty because they are afraid for the staff to be kidnapped. And that attitude of all the friends of Haiti, quote unquote, denies the country the possibility to eliminate that current predatory state in order to turn things around with the participation of Haitians and African-American diasporas. The imperative in the current crisis is to reconcile the population with the state so the population can believe in democracy, can believe in voting again. Monique has said that the last president had harvested 18% of the electorate. He has not harvested. The electorate was 18%. And if you do an election now, it will be like 5%. Maybe this is what the US wants, 5%, so they can govern with an illegitimate new president. There are negotiations that are being done in Haiti, but the US has imposed to the negotiators that a consensus should be done around Ariel Henry. So there is no negotiation at all now. So we think that on the 7th of February, next month, there should be a new government to instill trust to the Haitian. So the proposal put forward by key political parties and by Montana is to have a collegial presidency that would include 5 members designated by political parties, civil society, and private business sector. the prime minister appointed should be approved by that collegial presidency and should be a person of integrity, able to unite the nation and instill confidence in a fair democratic process. Because at the end of the exercise, 2 years put by Monique, we should have fair elections and have a legitimate government. And that prime minister would have a roadmap in consultation with a public safety government that is accountable to the public and representative of various social sectors and various departments of the country. And we should have a national conference with Haitians living in Haiti, Haitians living abroad, to know what we are going to be in the 21st century. We have lost 23 years. Now we should plan for the next 25 years. What is our action plan? What do we see as a vision for Haiti? So we can, instead of producing 12 million of pools, we produce really educated people, healthy people that can contribute to the whole world. And as Monique says, we have to include in a new reform of the Constitution, include the vote of the diaspora. Now, according to the World Bank, 85% of intellectuals, artists, technicians, professionals are abroad. 2 million in the US, 1 billion in the Dominican Republic, 1 million now between Latin America and France. This is a huge capacity of knowledge that can be harnessed through the new technology, Zoom, Meet, everything. I'm an architect. I work with architects in New York and in Miami. So I think that that amount of knowledge accumulated by the Haitian diaspora can give us a leapfrog and have a turnpike instead of going in 25 years to have the same level of health and education with our neighbors in the Caribbean. Make it in 10 years, 15 years, because we have intelligence, artificial intelligence, we have a lot of professionals that can come and go in weekends, that can do Zooms, that can work together. We can make it happen if we do a good election and have legitimate governance. So, we will have a new electoral board that will be honest and that will be able to organize those elections. And we expect that a new government, which inspires trust by fighting the gangs, reestablishing security, and implementing this reformist roadmap, can unblock the situation and produce legitimate elected officials to lead us in the 21st century. The year 2024 is the 220th anniversary of Haiti's independence. Let us make it the year of that country's renaissance. Brothers and sisters, let's keep hope alive. Thank you.
Okay, well, we want to, and let me just say this. This is substantive. What you've heard, excuse me, is a plan. And for my African-American brothers and sisters, I just want to just say this. See, what is being said is, and by the way, I agree with this, Elections do not necessarily equal democracy. Participation equals democracy. Maximizing participation is what really is the heart of democracy. So what they're saying here, what's being said is, no more fake elections. You see what I'm saying? You have an election, 5% of the people, 10% of the people engage. Oh, and this is, and then it's like, that's insane. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, except in this instance, they know what the outcome will be. So it's interrupting that, the re-engineering process. So if it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. It may take a year. It may take a little longer than that. The most important thing is the engagement, the systematic going to listen to and hear from the people. By the way, we could use a good dose of that here in the United States of America. I'm not persuaded, frankly, that even some of my political leaders do enough of that. The systematic engagement and an education of the population, having the equivalent of a Gary National Black Political Convention, if you will, to bring all the people together to talk about what the future will look like. Let's give Reverend Jesse Jackson a hand as he departs. Let's give Reverend Jackson a round of applause as he departs. Thank you very much, Reverend Jackson. Really appreciate it. So now we want to open it up. We have about 45 minutes for people to engage and to contribute. The way we'll do that, I think there's a microphone. Reverend Bobby, let me know where our floor mic is. Are we using this mic here, or who will be Donahue or Oprah or whatever? Or is it this microphone here? Is this what we're going to put that in the center? However we're going to do it. Anyway, please keep your thoughts as succinct as you possibly can. We don't want to necessarily limit it, but we don't need orations. We need suggestions, recommendations, and questions, and we'll go down. We're just trying to get the microphone position, sir. I see your hand, and so we'll put it right there, and then people can come to speak and to offer their thoughts. So you have the floor, sir. Please identify yourself and your question or comment.
I'm Admiral Nelson Bay. From what I've heard here, I would say democracy presupposes optimal participation.
All right, okay, that's a good thought. Next person up, who else wants to offer, come right to the microphone, yes.
My name is Jack Eugene. I come in here since I know they're going to pay tribute to Reverend Jesse Jackson. And since 1980, when the Haitians flew for the dictatorship of Duvalier, and they come into the United States by boat, and sometimes there was so much, they sent the Coast Guard to blow the boat in the middle of the sea, for they don't know what's going on. And that was a lot of things was going on, and plus there was send them to the Guantanamo. They do the test, send them to put them, some men start getting the big city, all those things, because they do experience in them. But Reverend Jackson, at that time, was as a very young, fighting for, as a president, a very strong voice, and he was standing with my pastor, Pastor Nelson Prosper. There was accept him for Chicago, yes, become a headquarter of the refugee, and Reverend Jackson was travel city to city. Myself, I include, I used to travel with them, Atlanta, many places. Therefore, I come in to say thank you for Reverend Jackson for the participation of democracy on helping in Haiti, and there was his voice. That's why they make the Haitian at that time become a refugee status, because there was not no status, but the Reverend Jackson was fight. He said they have to give them refugee status as a refugee. Therefore, thank you, Reverend Jackson. Thank you, Coalition, the Rainbow Coalition, for your help.
All right, thank you very much. So what we say that protocol having been established. So what we're going to say is tributes having been established, from this point on, we certainly appreciate Reverend Jackson that has been expressed, but it would be good to just get people's comments. Do you like what you've heard? Are there ideas you'd like to add? And because the idea of some affirmation and all that would be helpful. Yes, sir.
Hello. I just have a question. Well, one is, when is the election?
Do you have
Haitian
more than
election?
one question? So let's get all your questions out at once.
All right, that, and then also, has there been any efforts as far as including the gangs that are, I believe what you were saying, they're in control. You said 90%. 90%. Has there been any efforts as to include them in the reforming, of the Haitian government, as far as the I believe she said 3,000 officers who left, well, including young gang members. And the reason why I say the young is because, you can include them as far as, entitlement as, hey, you're an officer. These are stability on the payment. This is a new living environment, but really getting the young included to where the pie isn't really taken away from those who are there, homegrown.
Yes.
Too many foreign hands in the redevelopment, of the Haitian government. Is there any way, or has there been any efforts as far as including young gang members?
Excellent, excellent, excellent questions.
I'd like to. Hello? Yeah.
You can sit there.
Does it work?
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I'd like to take a shot at that answer before perhaps Leslie and Jocelyn can move on it. First, in terms of have there been any elections, and I think both of your questions are absolutely brilliant. And the first one, what is particularly interesting in that is in the 5 years that Michel Martelly, the president from 2011 to 2016 was in power, he never organized elections, and he was supposed to. He never did. So then that created a crisis. Then there was an interim government that lasted maybe about 18 months. They were able to organize elections. And then somebody else came in power, Jovenel Moïse. And in the 5 years that Jovenel Moïse was in power, he never organized elections either. So somehow I think it behooves us to think, why is it that these leaders who had some minimum legitimacy didn't organize elections? So it wasn't in their plan to organize elections. So that is the first part. And the second part, Ariel Henry, who is now the prime minister, de facto prime minister, has difficulties. Every once in a while he says he'll organize elections, but he can't organize elections because in order to organize elections, you need a system. You need an electoral system. And so he's not able to do this because he has practically no legitimacy to put together an electoral commission and to put together a system. So anything that comes out of that must come from a consensus. So different sectors of Haitian society, and this is part of what the Montana Accord has proposed, come together, and if we have an agreement, then we can have a transitional government that can organize credible elections. Because the problem is not organizing elections. The problem is organizing elections that are free, that are fair, that are nonviolent. But now, if you have a system where gangs control 90%, certainly of the metropolitan Port-au-Prince area, where you have about 4.5 million people, 1/3 of the population who lives there, as well as control the entryways into those areas, how are you going to organize elections? Which brings us to your next question, which is, has has the thought of talking to the gangs crossed our minds, or has it been done? And I think it's interesting. This was about 2 years ago. There was a Washington Post editor, an editor who writes editorials for the Washington Post, who had told us, well, why don't you sit down and talk to the gangs? They're the ones who control power. And the question then was, how are you going to sit down to talk to the gangs? What are you going to say to the gangs? They control the power. They have the power over you, life and death, rape, etc. So it is a question that a lot of people are debating. Now, what I would like to say about this is that the question of the gangs, and you have gone a little further in terms of that, because these are young people. As I mentioned, about 2/3 of the Haitian population is under 24. So without education, without health care, without whatever, the power, the glare of the guns, the glare of money, the glare of all of these accoutrements of power, of whatever, you know, it looks good. But the end game is usually death, very early. So bottom line is, you cannot deal with the gang, the answer to the gang situation cannot only be bringing Kenyans, bringing people from Bahamas, or bringing a policeman from Jamaica or from Burundi or whatever. You're also going to need to have training, educational opportunities, because these young people have mothers, have fathers, have sisters, etc. Somewhere along the line, what went wrong? So we need to do this. And there are lessons learned, for example, in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, where there is a film called Blood Diamonds that talked a little bit about that. And I urge you to look at it, and there are some experiences in terms of trying to reposition and work with gang members so that they can become citizens of an orderly state. So there are experiences that have been carried out that have shown some promise. Can it be done in Haiti? I do not know. But resolving the gang problem cannot only be, you can't just go into a slum and, okay, we're going to kill all the gang members. You can't do this. The collateral damage is going to be like Palestine. So this cannot be done. But talking to the gangs, don't know. So I will stop here, and perhaps the other Leslie might have something to say, or Justin, I don't know if they have something to add. Thank you. But brilliant questions, though.
Let me just, I have a perspective on this too, and I think that one of the, I call it a WPA New Deal type program or a Marshall Plan, is one of the ways in which you deal with incentives. In other words, I don't think there's any way of avoiding negotiating with the gangs, right? But I mean, we have to also understand their behavior, what is going on, and it's unacceptable and whatever. But I think you have correctly pointed out that they're young people, and many of them are there for various reasons. So the issue becomes, how do you incentivize them to become a part of the process? And there are examples even here within the United States early on where many of the so-called gangs were actually organizations that were doing good civil rights, human rights work. So I think it can be done, and I think that's the approach that would have to be taken in order to get to, again, to have them have a part of the process. The key issue, however, is security is important, because the process that is being talked about cannot happen in an atmosphere of insecurity. In other words, you have to create the atmosphere for this to unfold, and they should very much be a part of the process. The question is, can they be persuaded to be agents of change? And I sometimes use the whole, the gangster rap thing. Are you an agent of liberation or an agent of destruction? And so the idea is to get them to be agents of liberation. Mr. Adao.
Good afternoon, everybody. Adele Regis. First, I want to, the name is Adele Regis, And firstly, I do want to thank the Rainbow Push Coalition, the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy, as well as the Institute of the Black World for putting this event together. And I also want to preface my question by also letting you know that I grew up in Haiti from the age of 3 till 16, from 1991. Literally came into the country the same day Jean-Baptiste was getting his coup d'etat. And then I left in 2004, exactly right after his second coup d'etat. So all of which to say, I'm heavily invested in the history of Haiti and the plight of Haiti, both as a descendant of Haiti and also as somebody who lived there. I also do want to thank Dr. Ron Daniels, who I've known for a very long time. I'm probably standing right here in front of you, actively engaged and processing a lot, because Ron from a very age took me a bit under his wings wherever he was going around the country to expose me to a lot of dialogues like this, which I'm happy years later I can actually continue this. With all that said, here's my question. I'm sure by now we've all realized that Haiti's at a point, if we can be honest, where it's inching closer to becoming a failed state, unfortunately. And it's hanging by a thread with whatever bit of legitimacy that it has. And we've talked about 90% of the country at this point being run by gangs. And we are also talking about how even the police force that's supposed to be trained are taking advantage of some of the policies that are making it easier.
You good? We hear you. We hear you. You good? But we did for a minute.
It's okay.
It's still on.
So, the short version of it all is this. Being that we are in such an urgent time, and I also understand there has been some aversion to the UN providing support, which is legitimate considering what happened with the cholera outbreak back in 2010. If we have such strong aversion to international support, especially from the UN, what is the more immediate solution to dealing with the insecurity of Haiti, considering that Haiti is rapidly going down the decline, and even the forces, thank you, that are supposed to be providing that atmosphere of security are also leaving the country? What is the alternative solution to the immediate crisis that we are actually experiencing right now? I'd love to hear the panel what they have to say about this. Thank you.
All right. And let me just, as we get an answer, I'm going to issue a little challenge, because I know you, and I know you've been for years hooked in with young Haitian Americans all across the country, some of your running buddies and so forth. It's time for you to get re-engaged in this process, right? To understand it, become engaged in it, and helping to build it out, because you're a part of that future as well. So I'm proud of you and the work that you're doing, but we need you to be on the battlefield. So, all right, response to the question? I think Johnny is going to take the first crack at it, yes.
Well, I think, first of all, let me say, man, I'm so happy that you came here today and that you shared some of your experience with us. And I also urge you, just like Dr. Ron just did, to keeping on with the struggle. Now, this said, what is the alternative in the absence of an international deployment of security forces and so forth? Well, I mean, I think it's a very good question, but I don't know that we have very good answers at this point. But the fact is, what we are saying is that, to a certain extent, I mean, the gang problem in Haiti, is and the gangs have proliferated in Haiti, and they have grown, in Haiti, primarily because some of the people who are upholding the status quo have used them over and over again, so that they can maintain control over the economy of the country, over the politics of the country, and over international relations. So to a certain extent, part of what needs to happen is that these people that have such control, should no longer have such control. And I think that this is something that is possible for Haitians to achieve, despite, and part of what I will bring to the table here is the following. Frankly, you've all heard that the United States is first and foremost in upholding the status quo in Haiti, right? But my experience, my involvement with Haiti, for quite a long time, has been that not only can you influence U.S. policy, you can influence U.S. policy not just through allies such as the Rainbow Push Coalition, such as the kind of work that was done by Reverend Jackson, by other civil rights leaders such as Bayard Rustin. And I personally work with Bayard Rustin. When Bayard Rustin himself became involved in the Haitian struggle back in the 1980s, and he became involved so much that he was a founding member of what was then called the National Coalition for Haitian Refugees. So that, to me, shows you the synergy that exists between some of us. What we've done, because in the United States we can use the laws, we can use Congress, we can use politics in order to influence the policies. We took the government of the United States to task on a number of fronts, including at the time when they held Haitians back in Guantanamo and basically said, we're not going to allow these people in. So we took them to task. We won freedom for some of them. Many of them were deported to Haiti, but the fact is that you have a situation where you can't exercise influence. So part of what we need to do here on stateside is to ensure that we have enough power, and that means people's power in the United States, among Haitians, African Americans, and others, so that that kind of power, can translate into fairer policies of the United States towards Haiti. So not only because Haiti is going to need, as my friend Lionel has said, quite a huge amount of money in order to rebuild itself, in order to not stay in a failed state situation. Now, so the gangs, while they control the situation, part of what they do is essentially say to the young men and women who are ill-educated, who lack opportunities and so forth, that what they're saying to them is that you can be somebody with a gun, right? And that's what gives them the power. Now, we can take sort of histories, lessons from what has happened to dismember gang activity in different countries, such as the countries that Monique mentioned, Sierra Leone being one of them, and so forth. We can take some of the means and methods that were used in order to really sort of say to these young men and women, you can be somebody without a gun, and this is what we're offering you. And you can also, but you also have to go to, confront the gang leaders, who are preying on these young men and not allowing them, the free choices that they should have. So that can be accomplished in Haiti, frankly. I firmly believe that. You don't necessarily need, troops from abroad, and these troops from abroad are not going to really fight the gangs, because to some extent they have no idea. They don't have an understanding of the culture. They don't have an understanding of what it is that they're going to be facing. They don't have an understanding of the kind of complexities that weaves economic gains, economic spoil with this kind of criminal activity. So there's a wide-ranging field. So if my answer is not right up to the point, is because, to some extent, it's a little bit more complex than simply saying that, well, without troops, we're not going to be able to do it. Haitians can do it, and Haitians will do it if given half a chance.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take two. I think I saw a question. I saw a couple of, let's take two more. Is there three? Let's take the three. Uh-oh, we having more. Well, let's get them all. Let's pose all the questions so we can get one set of answers. So stay up. Yeah.
Sound like.
I think you had a question to come.
Okay.
Go. So let's.
Is it all right now? I got it.
Question or comment?
Yeah, 'cause see, I want to turn this way. Is it all right?
It can be a comment, but let's get into it. Let's move it right along.
I'm one of the commoners. Hi, good afternoon, family. I just want to look at you all. My name is Sister Zakiya Muhammad, and I am a member of the Haitian Coalition. In 1983, Reverend Jesse Jackson went to Florida because the Haitians were coming over here, brother, like you said, in the boats, campsite, and they put them in a camp. Reverend Jackson went there to see what he could do. I sponsored 5 Haitians. One young sister, Lionel, in my home with my children. 4 young men, Estan, Batley, Norsis Notilla, Mark, and Norsis. Young men, it was beautiful. Reverend Jackson, I can't thank you enough for that because it did so much for my heart, my community, and my children, Judge. That's an experience that I'll never forget. So I want to look at the Haitian to let them know that there is an African American that ain't just talking, but she has been involved in the lives of Haitian people. And and Reverend and Brother Daniels, you know, I haven't been in something so sensitive since I was with you in Atlanta, Georgia at the State of the Black World Conference. That's been some years ago. But I like coming together like this because we're in trouble and we need to be about helping each other. So in closing, I gotta say this, I'm working with the Haitian migrants. And let me just tell you, the Haitian migrants, if there's any way you all can form a committee in your group to focus on them because they're being shortchanged. They're not being treated like the non-black migrants, okay?
All right now.
When it comes to job programs, when it comes to winter clothing, housing, they're gonna be caught up again in those shelters. If we can't get our people in these homes, apartments, or somewhere, get them warm coats and things, that is something we need to focus on. They're young. They can be part of that struggle as years come. So thank you again, Reverend Jackson. I'll never forget you for what you did for the Haitians, and I know they'll never forget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
My name is Michelle Austin Pammies. I'm a board member of the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy. And I wanted to address that young man's question about what do you do if you don't have an immediate international force. We've had a nuanced point of view at HAFD, and that view is even were we to need in Haiti international consultants, advisors, international force of some type, it would have to be dealt with once governance has been established, credible governance established in the country. In other words, if you have the criminal element directing this multinational force, what are we to expect but a poor result? If we have a credible governance that can make a deliberate decision on behalf of the Haitian people, how much of an international force do I need? What can I use? What equipment? Just like any other country, where the Haitian people would decide what help they need. That's what we're looking for.
That's an important point in terms of the question of self-determination, by the way, and listening to the presentations. If in this period, what Minister Voltaire talked about would be established. That would be that interim governance, right? That would make that decision. So people should be aware of that. Yes, go right ahead.
Hi there. My name is Shirley Descourt-Beth, and I'm Haitian American. I'm also a journalist by trade, but I'm not here representing a particular media outlet. I do have a question, but before I ask you my question, I just want to briefly share how the violence in Haiti has not only impacted, obviously, the people on the island, but also the Haitian diaspora. All right, so in the 90s and in the early 2000s, my grandfather would often travel back to the island for the full month of December. He would be able to walk in the streets of Port-au-Prince and even go to the countryside of the island and, you know, travel by himself in taxi cabs and enjoy his homeland. However, so much has changed drastically that, you know, word is that his property was taken over by gangs and that the people in that property were ran out. That's how much things have changed, right? And now people in our family, they won't even go back to the island. People here in Chicago and in other states across the US. All right, so obviously the politicians in Haiti, they have lost control of public safety, the politics, and the economy. So my question is, what do you think is the end goal of the outside third parties who are making these decisions for the country of Haiti? What do you think they really want to see happen? Because obviously in the Caribbean, there are territories that are in control, well, that other parties have control of. For example, Puerto Rico is a commonwealth of the US, and there are other islands that are territories of the British colony. So that's my question.
All right, we'll go. End goal is the question. What's the end goal? Next person, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Armand. I am Haitian American and a lifelong Chicagoan. I'm here on behalf of myself and my father, John Armand, who couldn't be here today. I wanted to say that a few years ago in May of 2020, I published a note with the Northwestern Journal of International Law and Business titled Establishing Economic Independence in Haiti Through Foreign Direct Investment and Public-Private Partnership. So that question earlier about too many foreign hands in Haiti was very interesting to me and one that I grappled with during my research. But during my research, I also saw, of course, the glaring issue of corruption and the issue that there's no enforcement in Haiti. There are laws, there's regulation, but there's no enforcement, or maybe there are large gaps in the regulations, and then when things happen, there is no mechanism. Ms. Kleska, you mentioned how Martin Lee was supposed to hold elections and didn't hold elections. How can such a thing be? So my question is, what is the proposed enforcement mechanism? And when Haiti grasps its freedom this time, when Haiti secures its freedom, how do we make sure that we never lose it again? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the succinctness of your question. And the final question. Thank you, sir.
I'm Edzer Cantav, the immediate past president of Du Sable Heritage Association, and a member of the Haitian-American, the Coalition of Haitian-American Organizations in the Chicagoland area. So thank you, Dr. Daniels. Thank you to the panel and, for your expose. It was all well taken. The situation in Haiti is one that calls for creativity, calls for pragmatism, I would say, because it looks like at the core of it is the issue of trust. The parties, that face one another, I mean, there's that lack of trust. Now, so I'd like to propose some food for thought. We know the situation, the way it is pretty complex. And so what if all of the parties, everybody involved, we go into one direction, okay. this is what you want elections. So we all will go to elections, all of us. Lavalas, Fusion, OPL, PHTK,
Okay.
Gray, Force Louverturienne. All of us, and we mobilize everybody to go to the elections. And then, before that, have a pact of governability for whoever wins that election will devote the first 2 years of that mandate to address the big questions, questions of security, questions of the permanent electoral body, the constitutional court, because with this, we wouldn't have the issue of Jovenel saying that, okay, he was president until 2022, and then other members saying that you up to 2021. The constitutional court would have been there to address that. Right. Why don't you address all this?
Right.
Address also the Marshall Plan. Right. So during that context,
we got the gist of
2 years.
We got the gist of your proposal. I don't want to cut you off. We only got 5 minutes now for each of them to have a minute to respond because we're up against the clock.
Thank you.
I'm being given a cutoff time, and so don't blame it on me. I'll blame it on somebody else. So. Well, we have three questions. One question is the end game. What is the end game that's being envisioned? The second question has to do with how do we ensure accountability, given the nature of corruption and whatever. And then the final point is the possibility of the kind of inclusive process where over a period of a couple of years, the big issue questions can be addressed. So we really literally have about 7 minutes in order to finalize things. So I don't know who wants to take each, but I'll tell you what, why don't we ask each of you in your own way to have 2 minutes to address those questions, starting with you, Johnny, then with Minister Voltaire, and then to end with Monique. So let's.
I mean, I think, what is the end game? I think the end game is that we would all like to I mean, me in particular, I mean, if you're not interested, but you don't have to embrace what I'm going to be saying, but I would like to go to Haiti and be confident that the minute I step down at the airport, that I am not going to be, that I'm going to be secure in my person, that I will be able to visit with friends, family, and so forth, that I can rely on a functional civil service to to do what it needs to do in order not only to just provide security, but also to make sure that the wheels of government are functioning and are well oiled. I mean, I think that's the kind of end game that we will all look forward to. But what I want to say is that Haiti is not empty of quality people. Haiti has a lot of quality people. They've grown and they understand some of these things. And to some extent, part of the problem here is that they have not been given the opportunity, to do the kind of, or to engage in the kind of effort that needs to be taken. Right. We also have a number of people from abroad, in Canada, in the United States, in France, in Dominican Republic, in Jamaica, and elsewhere, who can also bring their expertise and their savoir-faire and their energy into the new Haiti.
Leslie.
So that's the end game.
Leslie.
Thank you, Dr. Ron. I would like to see in Haiti the creation, like Dr. Daniel says, around the WPA program under Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a civic corps in each commune of the country to rebuild, to reforest, to create wells, and to invite professors to go and educate the people, to invite doctors to go and heal the people. And that would create that reconciliation I was talking about between the nation and the state. But all of what Edzer Cantava says is okay, but the first point, which is election. You cannot do election now, even if you have a big coalition of Lavalas, Montana, OPL, etc., if the gangs control the territory. Because the gang will impose their candidates. In parliament, imagine you have a parliament controlled by the gangs. So it will freeze everybody in the country. Now, I want to answer something about the integration of the small guys in the gangs into the real society. It's really a problem because the gun is a tool now, a tool to work. Like the Mason have a trowel, the guy has a gun. But if we have a good civic service, we can integrate them there and discipline them and show them another way. I'm not talking about the heads of the gangs. I'm talking about the soldiers.
Okay, let's go to Monique to close out, please.
Thank you. I think what I will add is we need to, in terms of the narrative about Haiti, I often hear, you know, and I fight against this Haiti, poorest country in the Latin American region. And I always say Haiti is not poor. You know, economically, perhaps that is the case. But in terms of its resources, just hearing these young, I say young because of my gray hair, the journalist, the researcher who talked about her research paper that I would absolutely love to read. And all of the people we met last night and all of the people who are here, Haiti is extremely rich, not only with its diaspora, but also inside of Haiti. Because we do talk about the gangs, but we have to realize that there are people who are living every day in Haiti, in Beaumont, in Pestel, Cap-Haïtien, Mirbalais, Kinskoff. You know, they're living. So I think that is something that is important, and I think that narrative needs to be changed in terms of Haiti. We are a rich people who are going through a trial right now, who are going through deep problems.
Yes.
Now, just one last thing.
Yes.
We have a blueprint for getting out of this on the short term. And I think we've talked about some of the long term, and I think even the longer term, all of you need to participate in how that long term looks like. And that is one of the reasons that we talk about the national conference, so that the participation can be done. And if I can give one example, the country of Togo, the diaspora from Togo actually came up with a blueprint in terms of what they felt that the diaspora should participate in and the way they viewed Togo. And it is a document I think one can find on the internet. So I really think, you know, the diaspora, Haitian diaspora is much wider, bigger, richer, etc. And these are the kinds of things that can be done. What is it that you want and how it is that it can be done? So I would just say that I will not answer specific questions because I think Jocelyn and Leslie have already done that, but really just thank all of you for the ideas and just, you know, it's hands on deck. That's what we have to do. It's like work on this, keep on working on it, and keep on moving forward. Thank you.
For whatever.
Back what never.
All right. Let's give our panel and all the participants a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to Judge Lionel, Jean-Baptiste, and the Chicagoland Coalition that helped to bring this about, JP, and the Haitian-American Foundation for Democracy. A big round of applause. And last but certainly not least, the Rainbow Push Coalition for this incredible day. Reverend Wilson is not here.
One Daniels of the Institute of Black World.
Well, we're not worried about that. Now, let me just close. Let me close on a couple of thoughts in terms of the way forward, because I think this has been very rich. And by the way, Cape Verde is another example of where the diaspora actually participates. They actually have voting membership in the parliament, if you will. I want to assure you that this kind of process is what we envision happening all over the country. This kind of process has been very, very, very rich and very good. I also want to let you know that impacting the government is not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. Congressman Gregory Meeks is the most powerful figure in terms of foreign affairs in the United States of America. He's the ranking member. He used and soon may again be the chairman. He is completely on board with the Montana Accord, particularly in terms of the plan and the fact that Henri, or whatever it must go, cannot be the central figure. So that's a good point, because we want to get the U.S. government to be in line and not to do its will, but the will of the Haitian people. So there's great hope and great promise. So this has been, I just wanted to lay that out in terms of where we're moving forward. In fact, we're literally, Minister Voltaire will be here for a few more days. We're literally trying to line up some meetings while he's here, and we think we're going to be able to get that done. So this is an ongoing process, and as it's been said, there's no turning back in terms of moving it forward. I see the judge with the microphone over there, so.
I just wanted to make a couple announcements.
Right ahead, quickly.
Thank you. Next week, on the 13th, the Coalition of Haitian-American Organizations in Chicagoland area is celebrating Haitian Independence Day and commemorating the 12th anniversary of the tremblement de terre, the earthquake, and the losses that we suffered. We will reflect and celebrate. And that's going to be at the Sabo Museum that's nearby. Many of you already know where DuSable is. And it's a special guest, Bello, who will be there from 5:30 to 9 p.m. We also have another event coming up on the 23rd of January, and that is an event, it's a fundraiser to help build a School of Higher Education Law School in St. Mark. Our main organizer, Yolande Dauphin, is here. We're inviting you to participate. It's at the Doubletree Hotel in Skokie, Illinois. And what time is that, Ms. Dauphin?
5:30 for the reception, 6:30 for the actual program. We have something really exciting because we have President Xavier, University of Louisiana, will be main speaker, and it's one of the HBCUs. So he'll be there, and then we have another exciting guest as well, Juan Guerrier, also from the Haitian-American
All right, thank you.
All right, okay, so.
I just want to say thank you to our guests, but we want to continue to talk because we do not want an eternal transition. So please, let's continue to talk. I think Izze's proposal is worth taking into consideration to mobilize ourselves to move forward quickly. Thank you.
All right, so I kind of like to not just sort of fade in the background. We had a forward ever and so forth, but let's first of all give the Rainbow Push another big round of applause. And some of you know when we do Kwanzaa, we have a Let's All Pull Together Harambe. If you don't know about that, why don't we close with a thunderous, optimistic, Malik Kleska freedom fighter. We are going to get this done by doing 7 Harambe. So would you please rise to your feet? And we're going to do Harambe 7 times and hold it as long as you can. We want them to hear it all the way to the White House, all the way to Port-au-Prince, everywhere. 7 times. Here we go. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Harambe, Harambe. Wait. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, now. Thank you so very much. This was really. Let's hope the other. Exactly.